Welcome back to BrainFLoTv again, everybody. It's your host with the most. Harvey Weinstein has just been sentenced to 23 years in prison. Damn. I know. I was one of them that said that he's not going to get any time. The most he'll probably get is some community service, and he'll get to pay some money out to some people, and then he'll get away with it. Right? Because after all, he's a Caucasian man, he's Jewish, and he's wealthy, and he's well connected. All those things normally spells someone that's not going to go to prison. Well, not in this case. We were also saying that the Me Too movement has been largely used pretty much against men of color. Russell Simmons, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, but not against white men who we could see had to leave their positions of power or were doing prison time. Until this. I seen this earlier today. I said, come on through, justice system, come on through. So shout out to the NBC News for this one. Harvey Weinstein, convicted of rape in a landmark Me Too trial. They're saying landmark because under the Me Too movement, he is the only person so far that has gotten all this time. Hold up, pump your brakes. I don't think he's going to be the one to get the most time though, because R. Kelly is still in waiting, and we will talk about that on another video because his stuff has been postponed until way later down in the year, August. Anyhow, the sentencing was a seminal moment for the Me Too movement, which sparked a worldwide recognition on sexual assault and harassment more than 2 years ago. Weinstein, who is a once celebrated Hollywood mogul, said ahead of his sentencing that he was worried about the movement's implication for men and due process. So even while the ship was going down, Weinstein was on that ship with a life vest on, with the ship sinking. You understand? So what he was saying here was he's worried for men because of the Me Too movement. If the Me Too movement, because it has gotten to be such a powerful movement, if the Me Too movement comes against you and you are up for trial, then their powers could sway judge and jury and public opinion of you, therefore making it impossible for you to get due process. So if they get behind the movement, if the movement gets behind you and they say you're guilty, then more than likely you're probably going to be found guilty, denied due process, and sent to prison. That is what Harvey was saying, and this is before he got sentenced. Well, a jury convicted him last month of third-degree rape of Jessica Mann, which is a former aspiring actress, and a count of criminal sexual act in the first degree against Mimi Haley, which is a former Project Runway production assistant. Weinstein, well, let me break down the sentencing for you because a lot of people don't understand it. So Weinstein was actually sentenced to 20 years for criminal sexual act in the first degree and 3 years for rape in the third degree, to be served consecutively for assaulting the two women in New York. Now, consecutively means one after the other. Concurrently would have meant that he would have only done 20 years because 20 years plus 3 is 23, and if it's concurrent, he would be serving those 3 while he was serving the 20. So he would not have to serve an extra 3 after. But the judge ordered that he serve them consecutively, meaning after he's done serving those 20, he will still have to serve 3 more for assaulting the two women in New York. He was also sentenced to 10 years of post-release supervision for both charges. He's also been told that he has to register as a sex offender when he gets out. Now, for those of you who are wondering, Bill Cosby got 10 years, okay? Harvey Weinstein had over 100 accusers. Over 100 accusers. I know some people are saying it's 80-something accusers. He's had over 100 accusers. But even if we go with 80-something accusers, that is a lot. One of them had to stick. Now let's be all fair. Okay, Harvey right now is 69. He's about to be 70 years old. 70 plus 23, that's a death sentence. Unless he survives these 23 years in prison and he is made to do the entire 23 years in prison, he will be out at 93 years old. What much more life do you have after 93? And given his condition, I don't think he's going to be able to survive till he's 93 years old in prison. You're talking about Harvey Weinstein. He's used to a billionaire, millionaire lifestyle. And to go from all that to a cell as a sex offender, predator, it's not going to be pretty for him. And given who he is, he'll probably also be in a locked unit. He'll probably be in what they call protective custody. He will definitely not be in GP, general population. Anyhow, he said that he had no power in Hollywood and he could never blackball anybody because he was just powerless in Hollywood. He said that he believed that he had a legitimate relationship with each of his accusers. So in Harvey's mind, all these women were after him and he was just obliging all of them. He was having relations with all of them. He did not see it as rape. And they're lying on him because they have said that if you did not sleep with him or allow him to do the things he wanted to do to you, when he forced himself on you, then you would find yourself blackballed out of Hollywood. And he is saying in court that that's a lie because he doesn't have that kind of power in Hollywood. Several of his alleged victims were sitting in the front row of the court and they cried as the verdict was read. Ooh, that's tense. Weinstein was led out of the courtroom immediately after the verdict was read in a wheelchair. Bruh, he's going to prison in a wheelchair. And you think he's going to survive 23 years behind bars? Have you ever seen the documentaries about aging behind bars? It's pitiful. Ahead of the sentencing, Haley said that Weinstein's assault had scarred her deeply, mentally, emotionally, and had crushed a part of her spirit. She said that if he were not convicted, she believed that he would have victimized other women again and again and again and again because he is just that type of person. She said that she hoped that the sentencing was long enough for Weinstein to acknowledge what he had done wrong and to truly be sorry about it. Well, I tell you what, at 70 years old, going into prison for 23 years, coming out at 93, I think that man is going to be more than sorry. Man said Weinstein used its power over the powerless, and her experience was a reoccurring nightmare. She stood up there and she talked about how she lives it. He stole my body. I relive it every day as if it had just happened. I go to sleep, I lay down, I jump up out of my sleep, cold sweats from this big burly man because she is so tiny, forcing himself onto me and me trying to fight away and could not move, she said. He has been using and abusing people his whole life, she said. Donna Rotuno, an attorney for Weinstein, said that the sentencing in the case was obscene and it was obnoxious and did not speak to the evidence that came out in the trial. She said that the sentencing was cowardly and that she was overcome with anger at the decision. In other words, she was mad as hell that they gave her client all that damn time. Silence Breaker, a group that represents prominent Weinstein accusers, said after the sentencing that Weinstein's legacy will always be that he's a convicted rapist. He is going to jail. He's going to prison. But no amount of jail time will repair the lives that he has ruined and the careers that he destroyed or damaged that he has caused, they said. Damn. So, if he were to be convicted in that case, his New York conviction will be treated as very serious prior convictions, which could lead to harsher sentencing in the second criminal case. Now, you must understand, NBC News analyst Danny Covello said that the decision was effectively a life sentence for him. That's the same thing I'm saying. It's a life sentence. And it could have implications for his other upcoming cases, sex crime cases in California. Oh, you didn't know? They're not done. Harvey has other cases that are open that he still has to go before a judge and be sentenced in. He is 67. Weinstein, 67, faced a minimum of 5 years in prison and a maximum of 25 years on the criminal sexual act count. The third-degree rape count carried a maximum penalty of 4 years behind bars. The former film industry titan had denied all allegations of non-consensual sex, and he pleaded not guilty in the New York case, and his lawyers have said that they will appeal this conviction. Now, 67, 69, 70, same old thing to me. I just rounded up to 70 years old. And I know that 70 plus 23 is 93 years old. So even if he is 67 and not 70 and he gets 23 years, he ain't getting out of prison until he is 90 years old. Okay? So, man, I don't know. On one way, I'm happy because I don't ever want to be the kind of person, the kind of man that a woman says, he raped me, and I stand over here and I say, you lying. It's her body. She knows what happened to her. And although women do lie about these things, I find it very weird that over 100 women would come out telling the same stories, and your only answer to that is, well, I thought, you know, I had relationships with all of them. I didn't know I was raping anybody. That's crazy. That is crazy. Anyhow, Weinstein defense attorney for his part requested that he be sentenced to 5 years. His defense attorney actually really walked into court and wanted Weinstein to get 5 years. So one of the ex-producer's lawyers argued that his client deserved leniency because of collateral consequences. And he talked about stuff that all the allegations that he faced, that Weinstein could not even walk outside without being heckled, and he lost his means to make a living. Simply put, his fall from grace has been historic, perhaps unmatched in the age of social media, is what his lawyer said. All his rights were taken away already. And the judge was supposed to take all this into consideration to include his age, his health, prior health issues, and all that other stuff. Man, he also alluded to Weinstein's serious ongoing health concerns. Weinstein, who entered the courthouse most days hunched over on a walker, he was sent to Bellevue Hospital over concerns about high blood pressure and heart palpitations after his convictions. He was later transferred to an infirmary at the Rikers Island jail. Wow. Straight off the bat, he is in the infirmary. In all, more than 80 women have accused the disgrace, and I said this before. Some says 80, some says 100, some says 99. It's a whole lot of women, okay? Have all come out. And if you don't know who Weinstein is or what he was attached to in the film industry, we're talking about, he's a Oscar-winning producer, okay? Oscar-winning producer behind Pulp Fiction, classic, behind The King's Speech, classic, and many others. Sexual assault and harassment going back decades. The flood of allegations against Weinstein, man, they first reported in October of 2017 by an investigative journalist at New York Times and The New Yorker. And this fueled a global reckoning over sexual misconduct by powerful men in the entertainment industry, in the news media, finance, and other high-profile industries. And right now, a lot of those men, they are ducking and dodging and diving. He still also faces sex crime case in Los Angeles, where he is charged with raping one woman and sexually assaulting another woman in separate incidents on 2 consecutive days, one after the other. In 2013, he has not yet even entered a plea in that case. So it's going to be crazy to see how that turns out. If they give him 20 more years on top of what he already has, we could pretty much nail it in a coffin, put the final nail in the coffin, and just say that, hey, Harvey Weinstein will be spending the rest of his natural days behind bars. To go from an Oscar winner, not nominated, an Oscar winner, big honcho in Hollywood, and to be reduced to a prisoner in the infirmary on Rikers Island for the rest of your days. Oh my. Damn. Let me close this video by saying this. If they did this to Harvey Weinstein, you can imagine what they got in store for R. Kelly. Leave your comments in the comment section below. It's BrainFLoTv. I'm out. Peace.